What's going on, everybody? I hope you're enjoying your Thursday afternoon so far. This is NYG Jeffy T85 here, and I'm going to talk about a potential player that could be on the trade block potentially, depending on what his current team decides to do this offseason in terms of a contract extension and the direction they may go during the offseason, and that is current Boston Celtics forward Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown is having another terrific season for the Boston Celtics this year. The 26-year-old once again is one of the driving forces behind Boston's record right now, as they're second place in the Eastern Conference, a couple of games behind the first place Milwaukee Bucks. Brown has played in 61 games this far this season, averaging 27 points per game, along with 7 rebounds and 3 assists. He's averaging around a 49% field goal percentage with a 34% three-point field goal percentage, and he's shooting 77% overall for the Boston Celtics this season. It might be a little bit difficult, though, if the Nets try to lure somebody away, like Jaylen Brown, because Jaylen Brown has been a vocal critic of Joe Tsai for the way that he handled the whole Kyrie Irving situation before the trade deadline. This is according to Brian Lewis of the NewYorkPost. And Jaylen Brown is actually a vice president of the Players Association for the NBA going forward too. And Brown, like Irving, he stands as a vice president of the Players Union, but he's still part of that post as we going. He also defended Irving during the Nets Stars drama earlier in the season and said the suspension levied against him by Brooklyn violated the CBA. So he was not in favor of the suspension that was given to Irving earlier on in the season. Brown told The Ringer about it. "That's my job as vice president of the union. The union is supposed to be an entity to protect the players, especially their rights and their freedom of speech. I feel like what the Brooklyn Nets did, I still feel the same way. It was inappropriate. I think it was like a public ransom note, almost in the sense where he had a list of demands he had to do return to the game. It was a violation of the CBA. It was a violation of our agreement, and a kind of got looked over. It was like something was nothing." And on November 12th, Tsai told the New York Post about it. He said he has to show people that he saw. They were talking about the whole situation that happened with the anti-Semitic comments by Irving earlier on in the year. But I'm going to get back to why. That's just the part reason. Now I'm going to get to the reason why Jaylen Brown could potentially be on the trade block. Jaylen Brown is a 2-time All-Star. Like I mentioned, averaging 27 points per game this season. But he is only making a modest $30.7 million per season in 2023-2024. And right now there were trade rumors surrounding Jaylen Brown this past offseason, and you have to wonder if Boston and him could come to some type of new contracted agreement that would keep him with the Boston Celtics going into next season. And he's 26 years old, and right now, obviously we know what the Nets did. They traded Kevin Durant to the Phoenix Suns in a package deal that brought in guys like Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson, just to name a few. Jaylen Brown is the same age as Mikal Bridges. They're both 26. They will be 27 years old later this year. Like I mentioned, he's under contract right now, Brown, for $30.7 million, and he was not happy with the fact that his name came up in trade talks during last offseason, and he's expected to be a free agent going into next season, along with players such as Pascal Siakam, Kristaps Porzingis, and others that will hit the market. The question is, how much or how heavy will the Nets be in terms of the free agent and trade market for another star in the offseason? They've already tried this twice, and it blew up in their face. They tried it with Kevin Garnett and Jason Terry and Paul Pierce. Blew up in their face. They tried it again with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Blew up in their face. Will the Nets be willing to try it again with somebody like Jaylen Brown, although he is in the prime of his career? This one at least makes a little bit more sense because Brown is was going to be probably one of the Nets draft picks when he was originally selected by Boston. Remember, that draft pick that was traded in the Garnett, Pierce, and Terry trade over to Boston was scheduled to be somebody like Jaylen Brown. The Nets had interest in drafting Jaylen Brown out of Kansas at that time. I don't know if the Nets should go full force fledged in trying to get somebody like Jaylen Brown. The Nets have tried this aggressive mindset before, trying to get somebody like Jaylen Brown, or like trying to get a big time star on this team, and it ended up blowing up in their face. Now, Brown is a younger player, yes. He's a younger player that still has time to get even better during his career. But will the Brooklyn Nets be willing to sacrifice a lot of future assets, draft picks, young players, etc., to bring in somebody like Jaylen Brown? He is in the prime of his career, yes. The Nets have been linked to this guy before, yes. Imagine pairing him with the Mikal Bridges. It's only going to make your team better. But is this the right move? And I like Jaylen Brown. He's actually, in my opinion, one of the best players in the NBA. He could be the best player on the Celtics. But I don't know if this is the right route to go, especially after how badly it ended with Durant and Irving. It might be best for the Nets to just continue to go course and just try to build this team through the draft, make some solid signings, and develop the players you already have on the roster, including a Cam Thomas and a Day'Ron Sharpe. Would I be shocked if the Nets go after a Jaylen Brown? No. Sean Marks is trying to save his job right now. You got to think about that too. Marks is clearly on the hot seat after the last deal with Durant and Irving fell through. You know Marks is going to try to do anything he can to make this team get better. And if somebody like Jaylen Brown is on the market, you damn right that Sean Marks is going to try to go out there and trade for him. What would he give up? I don't know. Is it possible? Sure. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. But it's the NBA. Anything is possible. But you guys let me know in the comment section if you believe that the Brooklyn Nets should go after Jaylen Brown in the offseason via trade. And is it the right move for the Brooklyn Nets to potentially trade for Jaylen Brown in the offseason if he's disgruntled with the Boston Celtics and doesn't sign a new deal? And would Boston be willing to let him go? Hit that like button if you haven't already. Give a sub to NYGJeffyT85. More news updates and chatter surrounding the Brooklyn Nets. Turn on the bell for notifications. The next video or short dropping on the channel surrounding the Brooklyn Nets. And you guys let me know in the comment section what you think about the Brooklyn Nets pursuing Jaylen Brown in the offseason while he's on his $30.7 million player option going into 2023-2024. And if it'd be a smart move or a bad move for the Nets to go after him during the offseason. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great rest of your Thursday. Take it easy and let's go Brooklyn Nets. It's a Nets world, and we're all just living in it.